Make sure stuff's like actually working. Okay. Okay, maybe. Is things working? Is StreamerBot detecting YouTube chat? It looks like it is. Cool. Okay, shit. Wait, hold up. Is it getting Twitch? Is it getting everything? We're good. Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, sick. I always worry launching like StreamerBot and stuff like that because like I'm always like I don't know if it's gonna work. I can probably hit like post on. I actually made a fun thumbnail. Words are hard. Let me actually like chat. Let me see. I'm gonna post it in the general chat. Sorry, I had fun with that thumbnail of making it to where like we have the autism creature just chugging Tylenol. Because honestly, that was a lot of fun to make. That is just, oh, it's such interesting news. I watched the entirety of this, like, how do I describe this? Press conference in the nicest of words, and oh my lord, it was painful to watch. Is this desk like all the way up? I think we can even go a little higher. I think that was like an awkward, okay, camera. My camera decided to give up. Oh, did I turn off the focus mode? Fuck me. Not working better? Is that better? I feel like I've botched this already. Oh, the camera's just not working. Okay, it froze. Thank you, camera. Let's see if the camera has decided to unfreeze and not botch me. Okay, we're good? Okay, focus is good. Okay, cool. I was trying to raise the desk up a bit more because like I had a weird eye level and then it just decided to go and tilt over. I got a nicer stand for it, but it apparently just decided that it had none of what it wanted to do. Is it picking up YouTube chat? I really am paranoid. That is not. Let me just test. Blow a kiss. There we go. It is picking up YouTube chat. Thank you. Said hi. Perfect. Okay, it's actually working. Sick. Because I am always fucking paranoid that it's not. Because it's like multi-chat. How's it going? Welcome on in, y'all. Jeez, why is there 31? Okay, I don't even know. You know what's funny? This makes me feel like I'm doing stand-up. And I'm not really doing stand-up. I'm just yapping. But the stream design of like having a mic on like a long-ass cord and walking around makes it feel like I need to tell jokes. Which I'm bad at. I'm not good at telling jokes, chat. I don't do jokes well. But no, for what we're actually doing today, since we're not doing stand-up comedy, what we're actually doing today is talking about... this month killed me. Jeez, fuck, I wanted to, like, I was screaming the entire month. Because essentially, I did my Milestone exams, which are like my comprehensive exams for my PhD, which are these big exams that you have to do, like, this long presentation, write up a proposal and all that for. I was working 7 days a week from, like, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on this thing. The amount of like information that I just had crammed in my head at all times was so much. There was too many slides in my head at all times, and I was reciting them 24/7, which is weird to do. I would wake up and be like repeating my slides in my head without having to like see them, which is exactly what you want. You want to be able to get up there and not have to look at your slides. But for an entire month going through and being like, so hydrogen deuterium exchange, looks at the exchange of the backbone of my nitrogen's hydrogen with deuterium in solution. Doing that an entire like 24/7 for a month is crazy to your brain. I am so glad I don't have to look at those. I passed. We did it. I'm so glad I don't have to look at those slides again for like at least a couple months because oof, I could not. The amount of stress that's put into it, because it's an hour presentation, right? So you get up, and hi, hello, I can do presentations pretty well. You get up, I walk around a lot because I talk with my hands, if you can't tell by the amount that I'm doing it right now. And I'm giving the presentation and everything. It's going great. We get to the hour long, and the hour long is a public session. And what this means is that anyone from the university or like anyone you invite can come and watch your presentation. And then the second half, which lasted for me about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours, is what's known as a closed defense. And essentially what this is it's you and your 4 committee members. They sit down and they ask you whatever question they want. Which is a terrifying thing going into it. Because you're like, what are they going to ask? Do I need to know, like, this random obscure fact? Because everything that is under your umbrella of research is on the table. So you have, like, 30 or 40 backup slides ready with, like, theorems and papers and all of this information that you think you might get asked. I get up there, right? And, again, I'm going to turn the music down a little bit because I feel like I'm yelling over it. My closed session lasted an hour and 30 minutes, right? So just us 5 discussing for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm thinking I'm going to get asked all of these really hard questions or like have to like memorize or repeat these things and all of that. No, they asked me 2 questions. I get asked 2 questions. The rest of the time, we're having a back and forth discussion about science. You're a fucking man. I'm gender fluid, so get shit on. I don't know. I don't understand. That's the other thing. It's like, okay, cool. Good for me. Good for you. Why does it matter to tell me? Are you that like insecure about your own masculinity that you have to tell other people that they're men because you're afraid that if you don't, that you won't be identified as one? Like, I don't understand why the fuck it matters to people. Cool. Good for you. But carrying on. They asked me 2 questions, right? And I've been I have like all of these backup slides ready to go. I am expecting a shit ton of questions. I get asked 2 questions, which, look, I'm not complaining. I'm so happy they didn't ask me that many questions. But what really happened, and like I'm thinking, like my going into this is like, okay, it's gonna be question and answer. I'm gonna need to like think on the spot, have a lot of responses and all of that. They're like, no, we just want to talk about the science. I'm like, hell yeah. One of my committee members, I'm not going to name his name because I don't want to dox people, yada yada, or myself, but one of my committee members literally printed off a publication for us to discuss. He printed off copies for every committee member and handed it to me and them. Oh, my microphone cable is all types of twisted up, chat. Oh my goodness. We have to like untwist this 15-foot long microphone cable. One second. No, that was supposed to be the other way. Ah! Better. Like, I was not expecting them to generally print off a publication, but we will take it. I was not going to complain at all in that regard. But that's the comprehensive stuff in the exams and all of that. So happy with it. So I'm got a ping. Is that what was this? Okay, it's a friend. Cool. They are playing a different game. I was like, why are they pinging me? No, but I'm very happy that it was just a conversation. And it was fun. Like, I like talking science. Hi, hello, I'm a fucking nerd. If the D&D shirt, the D&D tattoo, and the solar system tattoo didn't give it away, I'm a fucking nerd. But no, it was great. I was so much more worried. And, like, was it anxiety ridden to give a conversation, like a presentation? Did I get asked stupid questions? Did I get asked good questions? Yes on the stupid questions, mostly from the general audience. Yes on the good questions too, though. That was a lot of fun. My stomach hated me that day, though. I was like up there, and I think the worst part about presentations like this is the waiting in between. Because how they do this as well, and the thing that really fucking throws me off is I'll get up there, right? And like you're getting all set up. So you have to wait when you're setting up the presentation. Like you get everything set up in the room. You're good to go. You're waiting for people to trickle in. You're waiting for your committee members to come in and all of that. Like you're waiting for the presentation to start. And the waiting and the like, you don't want to do anything because you can't do anything in the time that you're waiting. You're up on the front already. People can see you. You don't want to just be on your phone. So you're kind of just sitting up there awkwardly, like And I should get used to being in front of things awkwardly, like I stream, but it's the anxiety of like getting ready for that presentation. And again, 24/7, the slides going through my head consistently. So like I get up there, the waiting on that sucks. But that's not the worst bit of waiting. What they'll do is when the committee is like initially starting stuff out. So in between that open and closed session that I talked about, where you have the open session, you give your hour-long presentation, and then they ask the general public to leave. And then you step out of the room while your committee talks before you come back in. Having to step out of the room after you've given a presentation, but waiting to like go into this thing that you don't know what they're gonna ask and all of that, terrifying. Genuinely the most anxiety I've had in my PhD. It's just standing outside that room, waiting to get pulled back in, like trying to think of like, did I mess anything up in my slides? Did I misspeak anything? What are they gonna ask? Do I need to like, did I go too quickly? Did I go too slow? Did people understand? I swear to all that is holy. That thing was the most stress-inducing, like, I think it was like a 3-minute wait. That 3 minutes felt like an hour. I'm just standing out there like like everything that could go wrong, like it could have possibly gone wrong, like is going through my head. I am so glad to be done with that. And I gotta do this one more time before I graduate with my PhD, and that's in the defense. So you have like, there's 2 milestone exams for a PhD. There's what I just did, which is comprehensive exams. And the idea is you write a written proposal on your research. Shout out to anxiety for making me a bitch. Honestly. And like, again, I can deal with anxiety normally to a degree. I also am medicated, which helps a lot. Yippee. But like having to wait after a presentation for your committee to come grab you so they can continue talking about it. Oh, killed me. But like after all of that and the waiting and everything like that, we're done. I'm so happy we're done with it. And I have to do this again one more time. So this is what's known as comprehensive exams. Comprehensive exams are the first milestone where you write up a proposal of your research. We subdivide ours in like 3 different aims. And each of these aims are like things that you're going to do as you're doing your PhD. And I've been working in this lab for about 1.5 to 2 years now. So we have stuff that we've done, which are preliminary results. And then you propose everything else that's theoretical that you want to do. Mate, I'm finishing right now and I just caught a dick-tailed... Oh, I'm fishing right now. A dick-tailed fish. I don't know if that's just a YouTube debate comment or if that's an actual fish. But if that's an actual fish, that's hilarious. Honestly, I love scientists that name animals just the dumbest possible things they can imagine. Because they're like, some scientist just looked at some birds and said, yeah, those are some great tits. It's like, okay. Like, you know that scientists is just laughing their ass off at having named it. And like, look, I'm all for it. I'm a scientist. If I ever get a name something, it's going to be stupid. Because, like, let's be honest here. You remember the stupid names of things. You either remember the really catchy ones or the stupid ones. To be fair, I remember mostly the stupid ones. But, yeah, so, comprehensive exam is proposal. I did the proposal. Johnny Sins named it. Oh, yeah, clearly a renowned scientist and astronaut and teacher and doctor and, you know. But I did the written proposal and all of that. Got that submitted. Did the presentation, everything like that. So that's the comprehensive exam. And what this does is you go from a PhD student to a PhD candidate. Basically, they say, yes, you know enough and you're competent enough to go into like actually working towards your thesis and like getting the overall funding to do research and not just like TA and stuff like that. So it's you finish your courses, you know enough from the courses that they taught you, and you're confident enough in your science that you can continue forward with this. The nice thing is I get a raise. It's $2,000 extra a year. It's not much, but they're like, it's like a pat on the hat from the school, like a pat on the head from the school going like, hey, look, you did the hard presentation thing that took you like 4 or 5 months of real world time. And did you call dibs on my, no, it's my raise. No, you can't call dibs on my raise. But essentially, like, they just give you like a nice little pat on the head, which is insane to me. I'm lucky to get $500 a month. No, that's valid. For this past month, they should have paid me more. I worked my ass off this past month. They should have paid me more. But I'll have to do this once more before I graduate. And that's going to be my defense, which is essentially I'm going from being a PhD candidate to graduating with a PhD. The defense is a bit, I would say, not less. Hi, Heated. Welcome on in. I say not less stressful, but also at the same time, like, you're going to know more of the questions they're going to ask. Remember, I'm Rain. You are right. I'm sorry. My memory is absolutely dog shit. I do not have a good memory at all, especially this past, like, the only thing I remember this past month is slides, chat. I looked at those slides too. They haunt my nightmares, chat. How's my favorite Femboy? I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. We are yapping today because chat decided that I should yap. I feel like a stand-up comedian, chat. Honestly, I watched a comedy special on YouTube the other day by John Marco Sorelli. I think it was called Thief of Joy. And I relate to this comedian so much because they literally just had a stage of props they could walk around and just randomly caress. And like, just because they walk around and talk with their hands so much like I do. And it's just, they just had a stage of stuff for them just to randomly like grab and play around with and fidget with. Like, so valid. Great comedian, honestly. Very funny. Found him originally because of Dropout and Game Changer specifically. But Peak. Great comedy show. I'm not normally like a person who likes to watch comedy specials, but this one was just solid overall. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. But the entire reason I started that is because I feel like I'm a stand-up comedian right now. With like the big-ass microphone cable. Like I kicked it and I realized it's not going to come up. We have like the 15-foot cable that's just like walking around. I don't know. Like, does it actually... I'm curious if like I drop it. Does it proc it at all? I'm curious now. Wait, hold up. Let me see. It's yanking on the static or something. One goodness gracious. Did my stream die? Did my internet die? Are you back? Okay, cool. Just my internet died for a second there. Fuck me. I don't even know what I was saying. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about today, chat. Because I don't want to talk more about slides. I talked about my slides so much. I had to talk too much about those. I'm done. Thank fuck. I actually have a life again. It's nice not to have to work 7 days a week for like 9 hours or 14 hours a day. That'll be what we consider fucking fantastic. But the thing I wanted to talk about is chat. Why? It sucks being a scientist right now and like watching the headlines that come out. And then just going like, because I swear, my Discord status right now says screaming and autism. Because, I don't know if y'all watched the like press conference that Trump and RFK Jr. and like all of the health organizations did the other day. If you haven't, you probably know the meme, which is the whole reason that there's the autism creature in my thumbnail chugging a bottle of Tylenol. Because they're saying that taking Tylenol during pregnancy or giving Tylenol to children caused autism. Or made it, basically had a direct causal link to the child being born autistic or becoming autistic. Which is just not true. There was a study in Sweden that did like 2.4 million children, and the amount of percentage change in the children in the control group versus the non-control group where the mothers were taking Tylenol during pregnancy was not at all significant and not at all correlated, or not correlated, caused by Tylenol. Because the idea that they're making is that they're saying that factor A happened and therefore must cause factor B. Which, if you don't know, correlation and causation are two very separate factors and should be separated. Just because something can happen like alongside each other doesn't mean that one thing is causing the other, right? So, for instance, there's a website. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Called, I think it's like Spurious Correlations. Let me see. Yeah, it's called Spurious Correlations. Absolutely fantastic. Give me one second. Let me. Where is it? Browser capture. Browser capture. Spurious Correlations. Am I blind? I might be blind, chat. Perhaps I am blind. There we go. What button is it? That button. Bop. Bop. Give it a second. We are blind. I'm cooking? Oh, hell yeah. We love cooking. So, in case you don't know, this is a website called Spurious Correlations. I'm actually gonna... Can I do this? No, did it decide just to not do that for me? Why did you end up on the... I was trying to split the window and it ended up on the wrong one. Give me a second. Where the fuck is it? Am I blind? There we go. This is a website called Spurious Correlations. It is one of my favorite sites to prove this point. Specifically because what you're seeing here is two graphs, right? Or a graph. And what this does is it's showing you that certain things are correlated. In this case, the very first one is annual U.S. household spending on eggs is correlated with Emerson Electric's company's stock price. GMO used in Michigan versus the number of registered Yamaha motorcycles in the United Kingdom. Google searches for where can I stream Friends and Lululemon stock price. So, if you don't understand the point of this, the idea is that they're showing that just because things are correlated does not mean that they're at all like related or causing it. You can have two correlated things of data that are just completely like what's the word? Coincidental. There we go. I don't know why I can't think of coincidental. Am I just that broken? I might be that broken. You have two things that are completely coincidental, right? And the idea is that just because something or someone says something is correlated does not mean it's causing it. And that's the main thing that the conference was using the wrong wording for. They were saying that there is potential correlation, which the statistical change between the correlation of people who didn't take Tylenol and people who did take Tylenol is not at all explained by Tylenol, to be fair. It's almost like if someone's taking Tylenol, they're most likely sick. And if they're sick when pregnant, I wonder what happens to the child. It's almost like that's a bad thing to have happen. The idea is it's not Tylenol causing this. There's a whole bunch of other factors. My favorite part of this entire press conference is the statements that they continually made of some groups take no medication and have no autism. They're like, look, I know of some groups of people, they take no vaccines, no medication, they have zero autism, none. No autism whatsoever. And it's like, okay. They're like, okay, well, what's the group of people? You know, I'm trying to remember. It's the Amish. You know, I look at the Amish and I go, those are some really medically wise people. They clearly go to the doctor consistently to get diagnosed for autism. No, they don't, chat. That's the joke. They're like, the Amish have zero autism. They just don't get fucking diagnosed. It's literally the bit of like, I can't be sick if I don't report that I'm sick. Guys, I don't have cancer if I refuse to admit that the cancer is there. Like, it is genuinely the dumbest claim I've heard them make in a hot minute. And it just... The entirety of that press conference was... My soul is slowly leaving my body. Watching, you have a theory, Gemini. Oh gosh. All right, chat. I don't have tinfoil around me, so hopefully I'm convinced Baron. He convinced Baron when he was like 60. Oh, he conceived Baron. Are you saying that this entire push is because he thinks Baron is autistic? Is Baron Trump like diagnosed with autism? Do we know if he's actually... No, so there's no actual evidence that he's diagnosed, first of all. But, like, there's a direct link between old guys' conception and autism. So true. Guys, now we're pulling on the real thread. One of my favorite memes that I've seen recently was, like, a photo of RFK Jr. and just asking, have we checked the Doritos for autism yet? Because they're also, like... So, I think it's possible that Baron's autistic and nothing can be Trump's fault, so they want to blame something else. Now, that's valid. If one of Trump's children was labeled autistic, they definitely would look to blame something else. Which is also, okay. That's the other thing, right? They're talking about autism, and they're like, it's tearing families apart. You know, it's this terrible, terrible thing. And, like, look, to be fair, autism is a spectrum. I'm going to talk about that point a little bit. Autism is a spectrum, right? And specifically, there are cases of people who are low needs autistic and high needs autistic. I'm not 100% on this, but the theory is plausible. I don't know. I think they're just wanting to stoke this idea that certain medications are not good. And there's also there's some other competing interests in all of that too. I also just think that they're RFK Jr. and Trump are not actual doctors, They're not scientists, and they also have been very historically anti-vaccine and certain anti-modern medicine. RFK Jr. has historically said we should drink raw milk. I'm sorry, why are we taking his advice on health? Huh? Something that scientists are like, yeah, pasteurized milk is good because it kills the bacteria. RFK is like, nah, raw milk. It's like, what? Huh? To put into perspective, people look at the previous director of the HHS, right? Who was female. And they're like, who was not like, RFK Jr., to be fair, looks, in air quotes, fit. He looks athletic, I'd say. But like, the previous director of the HHS actually had a medical degree. And like, yeah, we upgraded our HHS. Like, yeah, we upgraded someone who doesn't understand what science is. And doesn't understand how medicine works. I don't think that's an upgrade. And like, maybe for them it's an upgrade. I don't know. Honestly, knowing their beliefs, it probably is an upgrade if they're saying that. But it's just like, they're treating autism like it's this. And again, there is differences between low needs and high needs autism and like people with autism. But they're treating this like autism is this like deadly disease, and like if you catch it, it's gonna like kill you. It's like, no, I'm doing fine. I don't think autism is killing me. And again, like I'm low needs, which means I don't actually like need assistance for things like that. However, they're so hyper focused on this over, I don't know, like, how about chronic heart disease in our country? We have a very elevated risk of that. But like, no, it's the autism. You know, I look at a child that has autism and I go, gross, that person has autism. Disgusting. It's literally just like bordering on euthanasia and eugenics conversations, which is woo. But watching them talk about a disease that you like, a mental illness or a disease, or I'm trying to think of how it calls a neurodevelopmental disorder. There we go. That's how you classify autism. That you have, and trying to watch Trump pronounce acetaminophen, how do we say that? It's like, how are you going up here giving a conference about acetaminophen and you can't pronounce the drug? I don't know if at that point, like, I trust your opinion. Not to mention, Trump loves, and look, I'm a yapper, chat. Chat, you know I'm a yapper. You know I consistently yap. And you know that I will go on long-winded yaps. We're doing that right. This is literally this entire stream. It's just a long-winded yap session. But oh boy, the like amount of times Trump was like, I'm not careful with my words. You know, Bobby tries to be very careful with his words. I'm not careful with my words. It's like, you're the president. Why are you admitting that? It's like, you know, I feel like the science thing is wrong. It's like he would say things, and it's like, that's how I feel. It's like, why are you? Don't give health advice based on your fifis. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true. He's like, look, guys, my fifis are telling me this Tylenol, not good. You know, that's why I always say I'm taking ibuprofen, because I do ibuprofen. It's like, the amount of just, like, random bullshit he'll get onto, if you just let this man talk, is... It feels like I'm watching a person in, like, an old person's home tell me stories. And it's like, how are you going from point A to point B? And, like, why are you making these fast leaps in logic? Because, oh, it hurts to try and watch it. Especially, like, when you're trying to, like, actually watch it for the science content, which that's the first mistake. I'm trying to watch it for the science content. And, like, they went back and hit the we're studying the vaccines cause autism button, which, like, the RFK was like, you know, 40 to 70% of mothers say that their child was harmed by a vaccine. It's like, okay, but it's not proven that their child, it's like the mothers say it happened, and therefore it must have happened. And again, it's just like this entire thing of, like, for an administration or for a party especially that used to always, like, quote facts, don't care about your feelings. They sure really care about their feelings when it comes into, like, science. And they really seem to think that their feelings matter when it comes to, like, actual scientific information and study, which is insane. Sit down, chat. We did the standy stands for a little bit. But, like, yeah, it was something just absolutely bewildering to me to watch. And I'll be making a video. So, in case you guys don't know, hello, I make videos called Love, Death, and Healthcare. I'll be making a Love, Death, and Healthcare video on this because I'm autistic and this is, like, right in my wheelhouse. But, oh boy, I kid you not, like, 41 articles already pulled, and I'm not even halfway through, like, so I try to pull, like, actual sources and publications and studies and all that to show what I'm saying and, like, to show the you know, scientific data behind it. I already have, like, 100-something articles pulled, or not 100. Like, I have, like, 40 or 50 articles pulled, and I'm still going through it and finding more right now because I'll watch and they'll just say something completely offhanded, and it's like, that's not right either. I swear, it's like watching for, like, Easter egg. It's like watching a movie for Easter egg hunting and going, oh, the fucking, what's that, Leonardo DiCaprio meme of you know, him seeing himself on TV, and was that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Is that right? Is that movie? I actually don't know if that was that movie or not. But no, I have so much editing to do for that. And I also just need to film it, but there is just so much information in that was just completely wrong. And, like, there's some things that were correct. So the other thing they talked about, and one of the other reasons that I was like, oh, okay. They talked about folic acid deficiency, right? And this has been shown that certain people on the autism spectrum have folic acid deficiencies, and that by treating with folic acid, that you can actually see an improvement upon symptomology, right? And this is, again, it is not the root cause of autism. This is a subsection of autistic patients will have folic acid deficiencies that can have improved symptomology if you treat with folic acid. And that's the main thing, that, like, we're finding a treatment for autism. But guess who makes folic acid, chat? And guess whose company does? Dr. Oz. Literally one of the people on this announcement. Which is kind of crazy when your company makes the drug that your government is now saying, hey guys, look, we have a treatment for autism. And again, there is small studies that have been shown that this may be promising avenue to look into. However, these studies are still small in size and don't actually have like the breadth and level of data that you would want to see for like actually pushing for treatment with them. Luckily, the drugs are already on market, so like there's been safety and efficacy studies and there's been safety and efficacy studies and all of that done prior. However, yeah, it's insane to do this without having like full-on efficacy studies and like full-on things. So you know how it is. It was, again, watching just the amount. Have a good stream. It got cut off. Thank you, Trash. Watching the overall like entire hour-long press conference, I felt my soul slowly leave my body every time they're like, you know, the Amish, they have 0 autism. It's like, because the other thing that they talk about with autism, chat, is that because we've seen such an uptick since the 70s and 80s and like all of those years in patients who are autistic, that clearly this must be an artificially induced disease, like mental illness, or artificially induced thing, right? And the issue with that statement is they're not taking into consideration the fact that, one, diagnostic tools have just gotten way better. Two, we are diagnosing earlier on and catching the symptoms more often because we actually have a better understanding of the disease, like the intellectual disability overall. But also the fact that there used to be a stigma around you used to get literally placed in a mental institution for being very high needs autism. So I don't know, maybe the removal of a stigma around autism has led to an increase in the diagnostics of autism. Almost like when we saw the stigma around left-handedness be removed, that we actually saw an increase in the number of left-handed people. Not that there was an artificial influx of left-handed people, but maybe the fact that, I don't know, not having a stigma around it was pretty nice. It was genuinely a wild conference to watch. And I feel like I'm spinning my wheels on this. So I'm thinking I might switch over to like rematch. But yeah, it was definitely something, you know. It was an interesting conference, and I'm making a video on it. We're gonna talk a lot more about this, but oh boy. All right, let's switch over to some rematch, which I think I need to. I'll probably just end the stream and restart it, cause I want to switch the thumbnails and all of that